That's genuinely got to be one of the hardest games in existence, dude. What was this video about? Oh, right, right. How should you attack your arm day? There's a couple intricacies when it comes to hitting your arms. They're not the most difficult thing in the world to do. There's not so many moving parts to the arm as compared to like your back or maybe your legs, depending on how they're structured. But if you don't hit them right, you're not going to make progress. Now, my arm growth has been pretty stagnant within the past few years, but with a little bit of changes over these past couple of months, I've been able to make very substantial progress, along with eating some more and actually bulking correctly on top of that. But when I switched up my arm day into a couple different more styles than I wasn't really used to, you got the Mike Menser method, taking a lot more time on the eccentric when you are doing your movements. And I've also lowered my volume by a lot. I've brought that bar way down, right? I used to be doing 10 different bicep things, 8 different tricep things, going through as much as I actually could until I was cramping every time I tried to shower, and I was washing my hair, which was just stupid. There was no point in doing all that, and to be honest, I didn't make any growth. Now, what specifically did I do to actually start growing my arms a little bit? Well, let's go ahead and take this into the gym so we can go ahead and display that for you guys. And now, while I wait for this pre-workout to feel like bugs itching to get out of my skin, I'll give you guys a little rundown of exactly what we're going to be doing today. So, with arms, they are something that you want to be as intense as possible with a small amount of volume. Like I was saying, you don't need to be doing 20 sets of biceps, or rather 20 different set variations of biceps, and then same goes for triceps. There's no point in kind of blasting and all that. They're not that complicated of a muscle. There's only, 2 heads to the tricep, 3 heads to the bicep. So you could do, let's say, maybe 8 to 10 different workout sets in total for each, part of your arm in a way. But you have no reason to go anything above that, because once you get to that point, I mean, you're literally just fatigue maxing. And that doesn't mean don't go to failure when you're doing your sets. Absolutely go to failure. That's how you're going to grow. I'm tired of all this different science-based shit where you're going to be doing, you know, 5 reps in reserve so you have a lot of time after. Just go as hard as you're actually able to, because it's going to give you the best benefits in the end. And then while you're doing that, you're going to want to be pushing as hard as possible. So let's leave a rundown of what exactly we're going to start with. When I start, I normally do triceps first when I'm going through my workouts. It's just a preference. It doesn't really matter what you want to do. It kind of depends on just how you feel. I like going tricep to bicep, tricep to bicep. You could do all your triceps first. You could do all your biceps first. Once again, it just really depends on the exact amount of growth that you're going to have during your workouts and over a long period of time. So for me, I'll start out with some type of tricep extension. I'll normally give it like a vertical grip. So depending the type of bar or handle that the gym is equipped with, I'll normally do either a rope extension or maybe a V bar, just depending. That really like kind of sets on whether I'm doing an arm day or maybe it's a chest day kind of push variation thing. So we'll go through. We will have that different variation of triceps, and then I'll move on to biceps. So with that, I'm going to be doing probably some sort of twist curl just to kind of get the full arm actually warmed up. Twist curl kind of hits every head of the bicep in its own way. You have the twist, so you're getting the short head. You kind of have a hammer variation as well at the bottom, so you're doing more long head, everything like that. And then going past that, I like to have a very single arm type of motion with most of my workouts. So I'll show you at the end when I'm flexing, but I have a drastic imbalance when it comes to my arms. Triceps, not so much, but biceps a little bit, because I've been spending a little bit too much time in the bathroom when I should be spending more time in recovery and at the gym. So with that, I'm going to be blasting my left arm just that little bit more, just so I can kind of equal it out in the end. That doesn't mean I'm going to be going less intense on my right arm, but I'm going to be going more intense on my left arm. So with that, we'll be having those twist curls. Then we're going to be moving back over to triceps once again. And with this, I want to make sure I'm actually able to hit the long head really good with my triceps. So I'm going to be doing an overhead type of extension. So whether that's with a V-bar on a cable or maybe with a machine, it just really depends on what the gym has that you're going to, or what you're prioritizing, because when you're doing it, I had a lot of tendon issues with my arms, so there's a lot of machines that don't really work well for me. So there's about, I think, one machine in this gym that I really tend to use a lot, just because the way I'm able to angle my hands, it makes everything a lot better, and it makes everything feel a lot nicer just on my poor weak tendons in my arms. So we'll go through with that, and then once again, we're going to be going to failure there, and then now we're going to be moving back over to biceps. So with this next movement, it really depends on how I'm feeling that day, whether I'm just a moody bitch or if I'm going to really want to up the intensity. So we're either going to be doing a preacher curl or a kind of cable incline curl, just seeing on what I'm really feeling. And let's just say we're doing the preacher today. Now, with a preacher curl, there's a couple different ways that you can have yourself angling it, whether that is going to be, at more of a kind of slope, or at a kind of flat angle. Both actually do feel very nice. It just really depends on what is actually available in the gym, whether it's packed or not. Today is a Sunday, so let's hope we get the better of the two and we get that slope. Basically my arm going down a nice ski black. I don't know what I was going to say there. I don't go in the snow that often. But we're going to be doing a single arm variation of that. Once again, going more intense on that left arm, less intense on the right. Just kidding. That's pussy shit. I'm going to be going as intense on both sides, but I'm going to be helping myself out on the left a little bit more just so I can get those extra reps, just so I can grow that tiny bit more. So when I step on stage, the judges don't absolutely swoop me to the side. Then moving back over to tricep, once again, I'm probably going to be doing some sort of katana type variation. Once again, seeing what is open. There's a couple machines that are pretty nice when it comes to this. They're going to be cable based though for the most part, because I'm really able to isolate that short head of the bicep well. And I don't like to do a JM press on a day like this for arms, because I do have chest tomorrow, and when I'm putting all the push into that, I don't have any push left in me tomorrow. So then when I'm trying to do 225, it feels like I'm ripping every single bone in my body, muscle, tendons, anything that I got in those chests. And then the only thing I'm able to push at the most is 185, and I feel embarrassed and piss my little soy boy pants and have to go home for the evening. So we're going to be doing, instead of a JM press or a close grip bench, we're going to be doing that katana. So with this, I like to angle my arms out as much as I can, just to give myself that really, really, really tight. I'm going to stop that sentence there. Just a really nice hold with that short head of the tricep. Past that, we're going to be going back into biceps once again for our last movement of the day with it. So depending on what I did, whether it was that preacher or it was that incline curl with a cable, I'm going to be doing the opposite of what I just did. So since I most likely did that preacher, we're going to be doing the incline curl today with the bicep. So with that, it really gets the best stretch out of the bicep, the most that I feel, to be honest, and it kind of pumps up my arms the most. So I like to save it for the end for the most part. So when I pose, I don't feel very embarrassed to even take my shirt off. So we're going to do that and then go through. And after that, I'll probably have one more tricep thing in there. Just really depends. I'll probably do a V-bar just to really pump them up for the end, just so my arms can actually match my third leg down there. And lastly, what I like to do for an arm day is I will go through and hit forearms, because those are an important muscle, mind you, which most people don't often hit because they like to blame it on genetics. Now, obviously, no matter how much you hit your forearms, you're not going to have Ramon Dino. I don't care if you're using both hands when you're, it's not going to matter, but you still need to try and target them as much as possible. And your forearms are utilized throughout the day all the time. So there's something that I like to hit every single day, because if I do, then I'll actually have the chance at growing them. So I'll finish up with forearms, and then now we're actually going to get into some posing. All right, so I was thinking, why don't we up the ante a little bit on the posing? So There's a lot of intricacies that do come with it. The only issue is that when you do come around and do a pose, you don't want to look like a walrus trying to play with a beach ball. You want to be able to hold your shit and do it correctly. So, why don't we check out a few on my own? So, go through, boom. And I'm going to be completely honest, I don't really know how the lighting is going to look with the camera and the mirror. I'm not a camera guy, I just record myself, so to be completely honest, if it doesn't look the best, you know what? It doesn't look the best. You're here for the personality, not the looks. Let's be completely real. Because if you were here for the looks, you would be watching a C-bum video, not my tiny ass. So, but one thing I can display to you is some dope ass posing. Because if you're not that big, you know what? You might as well display yourself in the best possible way. Boom. Right there. I'll turn this shit on me. So, if I'm going to be completely real, you will be seeing more videos like this from me, just depending on how much I'm able to up my ante here. Doing videos solo is definitely difficult, to be completely honest, trying to come up with all these different ideas and no cameraman and just being me. There's only so much that I can do, and I'm going to improve upon that as I go forward. But if you like watching these videos of just me, I very much believe so that you will like watching these videos that I have been starting to make with my friend Matt. Duvalin on YouTube, it's going to be the both of us. If you enjoy my personality on its own, then you're very much going to enjoy those videos as us clash together with these. It's going to be a little bit more raunchy, I'm not going to lie, because of him, but it meshes together very well. So if you enjoy these types of videos from me, you know, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and then go over to that channel as well. I'm going to be putting out hopefully around 2 videos or so per week, as long as, you know, Universal Music Group doesn't like to ram me, because it's extremely difficult to get the correct songs from them because they take forever. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.